Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4, Man the Guns. And things are definitely afoot, oh yes. We are fighting the Japanese really quite heavily here at sea. We have our own British submarines plying the coast around the Philippines and basically stopping the Japanese from getting into Indonesia, where the fighting has actually been fairly bitter and fairly brutal. And they do continue to try launching naval invasions, but we have a fairly large garrison out here of 51 divisions. I hadn't quite realised how many it was, primarily from the Commonwealth countries, but still, it's a large contingent. We have integrated Malaysia into the Empire proper. We control it ourselves now, and that has given us access to a lot of resources. We have also begun the process of integrating the British Raj. As you'll notice, they are no longer the Dominion of India. Basically, we realized that their manpower law is broken, so they had no manpower. They were not able to switch away from volunteer only, and so we went, okay, well, we're going to take this into our own hands, and we have started to integrate them. So the next step is going to be annexation, and that is going to cost 300 political power to do, and will pretty much give us infinite manpower, hopefully, pretty much, maybe, as well as a lot of other things. I'm wondering, actually, if we annex India and then release India, will they still have the penalties, or can we use them as a puppet? I'm not actually sure. We may have to try that. In other news, the Germans are on the outskirts of Moscow. The Soviets have been absolutely hemorrhaging manpower. They've lost 17.7 million in this war so far, and they've killed 5.4 million Germans. Well, actually, they've killed 3 million Germans. Like, the ratio here is horrifically skewed against the Russians, because the Germans fought the Russians to the rivers here, where the British line was, and then the Russians decided to attack across the river into the Germans rather than letting the Germans just exhaust themselves. So, yeah, not the best played there on Stalin's behalf, but we seem to have slowed the attack. We've definitely drained quite a lot of strength from the Germans, but that war is very much ongoing. The Americans have been surprisingly passive, despite the fact that they've lost 2.6 million men. To this day, I have no idea where those guys died. I don't know what America has been doing. Fighting a bit against Japan, fighting a bit against Spain, fighting a bit against Italy. They've got less than 200 German kills. I think they've just been doing a bunch of naval invasions against Italy and just getting annihilated every single time. We are trying slowly to open up a second front to relieve some of the pressure on the Soviets, but the problem is my army is up defending Russia. I have a lot of divisions up here helping the Russians out, and opening up another front would be leaving me very, very much spread. However, there are a bunch of American divisions here in North Africa just not doing anything. So I'm kind of hoping that this is the beginning of a new front attacking into Italy. They just took Rome. I'm attacking the islands. We just took over the Balearics, and I am now planning to go after Crete. However, every time I do that, I lose a ton of Marines. So that is another issue. I have also just begun creating the British Life Guard, which are a very tough new unit model, which I'm using mechanized medium tanks and also some of the new motorized artillery. Fast moving, heavy hitting with a ridiculous amount of defense and also a pretty good breakthrough value. So hopefully we can do a bit of damage with that. And also because they're mechanized, they're not going to die very quickly. So, yeah, that's where we're standing. The other thing is, the Americans have got 17,000 aeroplanes. Problem is, they're not using any of them. All of the air battles currently being fought around Europe are done by the RAF. Like, you'll see the numbers here, very much against us in basically every single sphere, because the Americans just aren't here. They have 16,000 planes. They don't have any planes to give out of Lend-Lease, and even if they could, Lend-Lease is broken. So I'm fighting the Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, the Spanish, all of them in the air on my own. I'm not able to use Soviet air bases, so the Soviets are being crushed in the skies. I'm fighting the Japanese, the German, and the Italian fleets pretty much on my own. To America's credit, they have been fighting a little bit against the Japanese, and they just retook Hawaii. But everything else I've been doing basically on my own. And I'm also fighting down here to try and defeat their navies, although that has not been pushing quite as much as I would like. So AI hasn't really improved, I'm sorry to say. Like, I love the way the Navy has worked. The Navy's changes are fantastic, but I'm really pleased I'm not fighting on land. And that's about to change, so you might hear some cursing. Support the US and the Italy, they seem to have more of a hold. Yeah, I mean, if they look confident there, then I probably will. The problem is, because I am so far extended already, I cannot afford to give them too much if we're just going to get pushed back into the sea. And quite often they're just doing these like stupidly wasteful attacks, though they don't really have any other choices. Another ace pilot, that's good. Oh, in fact, do we have an airbase here? No. So all of these planes currently fighting are Italian, although they do actually have some strategic bombers based somewhere. I kind of want to follow that bomber just to see where it's flying from. This one might even be flying from Britain. That one looks to be based here. Yeah, there's 1,000 planes in this position. A bunch of tactical bombers from the US. Okay, so I guess some of their planes are in North Africa. It would be nice if you used them over here, though, I have to say. Because there are some absolutely colossal air battles going on. I just don't think they have many planes out here. They're all tactical bombers. They're not using fighters at all. See, every single thing. United States, tactical bomber, tactical bomber, tactical bomber. That's it. So, not exactly being helpful, because I'm having to spend a small fortune in factories just building fighters to replace my losses. Anyway, enough complaining. Isn't there a mod called Expert AI or some such? Probably not updated yet. Yeah, I suspect that's going to change a fair bit. Do I have to give the US permission? No. We're in the same faction. Am I still building more Marines? I am. I should probably tell you to just go ahead and deploy in Liverpool. And join that army. Same thing. Liverpool. That's the training army. Right, what are you guys? You are my just in case everything goes completely mental in India force. You are the support force. Oh, actually what you guys could do is let's move you here, and then these tanks could potentially go and support the Americans in Italy, and that would give us quite a lot more punch. That's a good idea, actually. I like that. Then we have the Greek force, which has finally arrived. Huzzah! So let's go and add you to the Exile army, who have been doing a huge amount of the fighting against the Germans. Now, so long as we can hold Anzio, as long as they don't start attacking Anzio. Don't leave Anzio! That is your F, that's your base! If you lose Anzio, then all of this is dead. Come on! Are we going to win this war, or do you need to learn German? Well, the Germans are never going to be able to invade Britain. They just can't get through the navy. They did cause a severe panic because they reduced my convoys right down. Remember with the lovely days back when we had like 800 convoys? Well, those are well and truly gone. And we did have to dedicate quite a few dockyards to convoy production, but I think we have more or less picked that one up. And actually, we have several ships that need to be sent out. So we have destroyers for that fleet, and then we have submarines still in training. That's fine. In fact, our submarine fleet is almost back up to full strength. We're lacking 9, 10, 11 ships. And we currently have 11 subs. We can stop building subs. We'll keep building subs in case we need to replace. But yeah, we already reduced the sub production by 1. So our submarines are doing well.
Yes, sir.
How far are you guys?
Yes, sir.
It's not you, it's not you. Damn it, who are the tanks?
Ready.
You. You need to join this army. I will go for Sicily with you. Preparations are almost finished. Because if you can hold on to Anzio, then that would be really quite amazing. Right, you may as well ship in over to here. I'm almost out of fuel. Okay, we're going to go and replace submarine production just for a second, because I want to get more convoys. I'm a little bit concerned that we only have 30 available right now, plus we're going to need to spend a couple more to get more industry going, to get more fuel production. Do that. That gives us 100 days again. Okay, better. 800 convoys, 600 of those carrying tea, 199 carrying equipment for the king, 1 for the war effort. And there's the Churchill Kangaroo, which is the final mechanized design that I need. Okay, so we're going to go and switch those out. Oh, no variants for that, are there? No, just the tanks. Alright, cool. So we are now producing the mechanized units we need. We are producing the Cromwells, which are the highest level. No, we need to get Comets still. That's fine. What's that? Oh, those are amphibious. Amtrak. That's a train. Let's get Payats or improved infantry equipment. I think probably the improved infantry equipment. Plus 10% soft attack for mechanized. Don't mind if I do.
Ready to move.
Alright, so we have now arrived. We are going to need to try and retake... Well, basically, we want to try and take that. So let's spread out. Let's get our organization back again and see what we can do here. Immediately push back again. Great. It looks like this is just going to be brutal fighting in Anzio itself. Yeah, Messina is where I would attack if I went for Sicily.
Yes, sir.
See what we can try and do, pushing out. And still sinking their convoys. Losing a couple of submarines in the process. So yeah, it's a good thing that we didn't stop producing subs, because we are still using them. Oh, flip. Another big battle. So yeah, the Japanese home fleet is definitely coming out to play. So we had the Battle of Makassar, where we lost a submarine, a battleship, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 4 destroyers. They lost a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser, 4 destroyers, and a bunch of planes. My capital ships are getting thrashed. But these are old capital ships, like really old. So I am wondering if we want to start building... Well, we already have 2 Earl Greys being constructed, don't we? As soon as I remember where they are, they're at the top. And the Earl Greys... Well, one of them's due out in about 6 months. Okay. And that one's going to be a bit later. Electric torpedoes are going to improve my shooters. I think it's time to boost the super heavy armor piercing shells to make my capital ships that much more effective. Spend the points on that. Another engagement. See, they do quite significantly outnumber us here. They have 50 destroyers. Wow. We have 36. Well, we can keep on feeding destroyers to that sphere. And we are building a lot of destroyers now. In fact, they've taken out one of my entire recon fleets. Well, that's annoying. Why are you not patrolling? Are you telling me I have no recon out here? So my big fleet was out and about, but the recon wasn't doing anything? Who just died? My recon fleet. Not this one, the other one. Alright, so we need to get more recon out here. Why are you struggling so much? Because you're not actually demanding more. Italy, otherwise that's going to get destroyed. Alright, so this attack out is not working, so stop doing it. We're just going to try and hold Anzio and see if the Americans ever bring in more troops. Or not. Meanwhile, Marines. I think you've probably trained enough. Especially if we're just going to be taking Crete. Trying to encircle Moscow, I think.
Keep moving.
Oh! Thought this might have happened. How do you create a new template? Because I did not press edit, I pressed division designer. There's no new button. Oh, it's one of these, isn't it? Create empty. God damn it. I did replace my motorized units. That's one of the reasons we're sucking in the Soviet Union right now. Alright, so you lot are getting maximum priority when it comes to equipment. And I'm also going to make reinforcements and upgrades the maximum priority and then building these units minimum priority. So that any mechanized I do manage to produce comes out here. The problem is that we're going to lose all the experience because these guys have no training with that gear. Sod. Alright, that's really bad. That's going to mean that this entire bottom line is going to lose some serious strength. Huzzah! There's another sub. Killed some convoys. Killed some convoys. 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 Well, we've definitely seemed to have put a dent in the naval invasions from there, so I'm not too concerned about them going there. Italy... Sorry, not Italy. India and America seem to be holding that line just fine. Buddhist Jim, thank you very much for the resub. How goes the Eastern Front? Not amazing. As I was just saying, we've accidentally replaced all of my motorized with mechanized. That would explain why I had so much motorized in the bank. Ooh, we killed another German sub. That's always a thing to celebrate. More Convoys being shot. Good. Meanwhile, how are we looking here? The Americans are definitely shipping more troops in. I just wonder whether we can really hold all of this.
Ready.
So you need to have a different colour. You need the green. America's attacking Palermo.
Commands.
You go there. I suspect you'll lose that, but then I'm going to go and attack Messina, and we will push it hard. And then that will give us a base hit in Sicily from which to conduct other offensives.
Listen up.
I wonder, can I go to the Americans and say, hey, that Latium place, pretty cool. No, I can't request it. Because if I could request it, I would say, hey, I will totally build tons of infrastructure and stuff here. Although it being the capital, it probably has it already. Good, another submarine. They have 15 subs again. Wow, Germany is really trying to build the navy right now. Preparing for Operation Sea Lion, obviously.
Ready to move.
I'm 23,000 mechanized short. Really? Alright, so most of the mechanized that we already have, I want to have sent out to this. I need them to get stronger, seeing as they're on the line holding against the Germans right now. Meanwhile, invasion of Crete has been a success. So I want half of you doing that. I want half of you on this side. Doing that. Go.
Attention.
And I want you to now be in charge of holding on to Crete. Has America not been taking this war seriously? No, not even close.
Ready to move. Move out.
Alright, so we're going to start training again. Is this going to be... How good a port is that? Level 1. Level 1. So no, we don't want to do this from here. So we're going to grab you again. We're going to go to Tobruk. Actually, what level are these? Bersert's a nice level. So we'll go to Berzert.
Ready, sir.
Just set that up as a fallback line for now. Actually, no I won't. I'm going to still set that up as a naval invasion zone going to Messina. And you can still go there because it's going to be the start of your operation. You can train while Mr. Diaz sets up the naval invasion. Ooh, good. Submarine and also the recon fleet. Good. Killing stuff still here. How many hostile ships are in the area? There's still 42 ships in that area. Really? Okay, well in that case, I'm going to do a thing which I haven't done before. We're going to put our naval carriers out here. Our carrier planes. We're going to deploy you into the Mediterranean Sea, because this is probably about the only place that you can actually hit ships from. It's a pretty good location for hitting ships. Granted. And you should have something of a fighter umbrella from which to operate. In fact, we have a surplus of fighters. that was abortive. So I just lost all of my tanks again. That is why I'm not contributing more to those offensives, because they never last very long.
Go, go, go!
Do not assign to that.
Ready, sir!
Nope. Stop. That's stupid. Crap.
Ready, sir!
Which one are you? You're them. Wait, what?
Ready!
No, you're them. You've done it. You switched... Oh, God. Oh! You've switched where all the armies are, so the blues were up here, and you've just switched them around.
Yes, sir!
This is why I hate army group front lines. They just suck in every possible way. Unfortunately, when you're in front line drawing, you can't actually see where your troops are right now. Alright, so you go all the way down to there. Gotcha. And then it's these... No. Yeah, it's these guys that are in the middle. Up to what exactly? Up to that river. So you're the guys defending Moscow right now. And then you are basically defending everything from the south. Down to here, I would say.
Come on! Ready to move! Commands!
Alright. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to turn this into an army group front line, and hopefully you don't screw it, because this way you'll keep the lines together at least. Have you screwed it?
Ready, sir!
No, but where's he
Orders!
going?
Ready!
Yeah, you had started to switch. Okay. You're just going back again. I'm going to put you on a train. Choo-choo. Alright, you should be okay. Morons.
Ready!
Alright, so the Marines are still in training. How are those red units looking? Still really rather weak. You've got most of your infantry equipment in. Most of your artillery, you've got some tanks, but you mostly just need mechanized. Lots and lots and lots of mechanized. Does Britain have the focus to pressure Turkey? Yes, but I don't really want to open another front here because I am not convinced that we have the troops to hold it. And then we're just giving them Turkey. If we lose the Caucasus, then yeah, maybe, because it would give us another route to retake the Caucasus, but right now, no. And Turkey themselves don't have that many divisions. So they wouldn't be a huge boost. They would just get overrun like that. And there's not going to be any pincers happening in Russia right now. For pincers, you need to have a stable front line. We don't. Or at least a front line that you can actually push. We don't. Especially not since I screwed up and replaced all of my motorized with mechanized, while not actually having mechanized. I think it's GG at this point. It's not GG. It's winnable. Just patient. We have to be patient. I'm okay with being patient. We did lose a recon fleet, so we're going to make you reserve. Move you here. Make a new task force. We're going to call it Recon Fleet. We're going to place it in there. And give you the binoculars. And assign you to patrol. And actually what that's telling me is that we're out of light cruisers. So we should probably go ahead and produce some more. Let's make 2 more of those. And then switch to... Pained? No. Jack the Rippers.